second one, with me you're going to see what about YouTubers and popularizing art. I'm going to focus on YouTube channels which are made by individuals who are interested in sharing their knowledge. But first I would like us to think a little bit about our YouTube consumption and what we watch on YouTube. Because when we see that in the trendy part of YouTube we can find titles such as Défi, croquer, lécher ou ne rien faire, test bêtises ou friandises spécial Halloween, or Amazon Battle spécial cadeau pour chien, maybe that's not the most intellectually challenging videos, so I can understand perfectly that we want to be entertained by videos, but some channels exist which are there to entertain you but also make you learn some things. So first we can wonder, why do people want to launch such kind of channels on YouTube? You must know that in general they launch channels in their field of studies, like they speak about topics which they're passionate about, which really interest them because they were studying it, and they want to share their knowledge. You must know that that's not the channels which have like the most important number of subscribers, so they can't make a living out of it in general, above all in the artistic field I think, because that's kind of different for us field. But as they can't make a living out of it, that's really passion which is guiding them, and they speak about what they like and want to make it like more accessible to others. We are now going to wonder, what about the audience of these channels? The YouTubers in themselves would like to bring as many people as possible to watch their work, and also to help newbies to discover this field, but it's not that easy. Indeed, these videos are watched either by people already interested into art or people coming there for academic purposes, for instance having a presentation to do or this kind of thing. And it explains also why in these channels the videos which works best are the videos on the most generic topics. For instance, in the channel L'art en trois coups de pinceau, the videos which were the most watched are those speaking about the general movements such as surrealism, for instance, and it's easy to understand when we think that someone who has a presentation to do about surrealism search about this and finds this video, while other videos more specific about artists or exhibitions are less likely to be searched as such. And I would like to add on that by quoting some comments which really show this trend of academic purposes that I found under a video of Les Muséonautes about Claude Monet et les nymphéas. So there is someone who says that c'est la première chaîne que je vois, elle est super cool et elle permet d'apprendre beaucoup plus facilement. And there is also a teacher who is saying, sans grossièreté ce serait parfait et cela me permettrait d'utiliser vos vidéos pour ma classe de 8-10 ans, sinon j'adore, which shows that it has also pedagogical value in this video. So, what are the YouTuber strategies when they create their videos in order to popularize art as well as they can? So, some of them have been evoked by Tom in our first introduction videos, I hope that you've seen it. But I will dive into more details about other kind of things. So first you must know that the YouTubers tend to be directly in front of the camera, while in institutions that's not always the case. That's often like other images with a voice speaking over it, while YouTubers are in front of the camera and they're also creating characters which are coming back in every videos in order to create like a link and something interesting to follow in several videos with their community. For instance, we can think about the Fossoyeur and his dear Pupus the shovel. And they tend to use a lot of humor, often to break after having explained a very serious and complex concept. For instance, in a Muséonautes video, they explain the concept of synesthesia, and after they like make a joke in order not to appear like too serious and just to get like an overall immersed tone. They also often try to come back to widely shared cultural reference or pop culture ones in order to avoid looking too disconnected, because this art which they talk about are considered as being like far away from everyday consideration. So that's why they try to connect them and to make them appear like more natural for everyone. And finally, they also try to use the kind of YouTube style video with a lot of rapid cuts to keep the viewer awake and to like look very dynamic. And they try to put forward their own work by referencing older videos during current videos in order to like put forward the works they did before. So for instance, that's something we can see in the Muséonautes, in their video about the Nymphéas. They're going to quote their work on surrealism or things like that in order to make their other videos being watched. So, having explained these strategies, I would like to apply them to a specific example. I will use the video of Le Fossoyeur, the film about Zardoz. I think you saw in the introduction this wonderful picture of Sean Connery with his red underpants, which is so sexy. So I must recognize that personally I'm very fond of cinema, so that's why I've chosen it. But you could find everything that I'm going to say in a lot of other kind of videos. In the analysis of Zardoz, we find the Fossoyeur really creating a context to find the movie. He's not just coming there saying, okay, we're going to analyze Zardoz. No, he is in the garden of someone else with his shovel, finding the movie, like really creating something around it. And he also spent his time explaining like the pitch of the movie and some concept around it, for instance the quatrième mur. But after having explained that, he tends to break, as I said, he tends to break it with humor and with sentences which are like coming back in several videos. For instance, qu'est-ce que putain que quoi? That's a sentence that we can find in almost every video. He also acknowledges that it might be difficult for some people to understand this movie at first, because that's obviously, when you see some of the design of it, not an easy movie to follow and not something that we are used to see. So he really he's not taking people from a upper standpoint, like, oh, you don't understand anything about art. He said, no, that's complicated, but I will just try to nuance your view and to show you what is like interesting into it. What is also really important is this type of writing, so as I said, with a dynamic and joking like tone, but also the fact that he used like kind of striking sentences and hints in order to stay in people's mind. For instance, his conclusion about Zardoz is the following sentence: il ne faut pas se fier à la simplicité apparente d'un slip rouge parce qu'il peut cacher beaucoup plus de choses intéressantes qu'on ne le pense, which obviously plays on like the double meaning of it. But that's something that you can keep in mind about like understanding this kind of movie. So in his analysis, he takes into account the topic, but also the way it is filmed, in order to show how cinema is an art, but also an understandable art. So that's exactly the goal of any popularization video, in my sense. So today we've seen what are doing YouTubers to popularize art, why they are there, their strategies they can put forward. But I also encourage you to go to watch our other video on museums to find like the contrast and the comparison between both of them. There is another video with coming soon. I will let you discover it. And don't forget to subscribe and put a like if you enjoyed this explanation. See you!